for knowledge. So I decided to begin to write on this series to try to subtly guide them towards what the true essence of African spirituality is. You see, my father was my mentor, my teacher, and my friend. I know he used to tell me since when I was young, know who you are. Because if you don't know who you are, you cannot even live it's not possible to live a life that is fulfilled. And he made me to realize that knowing who I am has nothing to do with wealth, has nothing to do with my physical body, but it has everything to do with the reason, who am I spiritually? Who am I? Where did I come from? What am I doing here? Why am I here? When I leave here, where am I going to? So it is that knowledge of who we truly are that will enable us to know, to solve a lot of societal problems that we young people are going through today. It reduces competition if you know who you are. You don't compete with your friend, you don't compete with your neighbor, you don't compete with your brother, because you have a different destiny. You might have the same purpose, but the direction through which you achieve that purpose, is completely different. No two persons are alike. No two persons, even if they have the same purpose, no two persons are alike. And it's in knowing who you truly are that helps you to define your destiny and your purpose. Because you know who you are, you know why you are here. You know the purpose for which you are created, your purpose for creation. Everybody has a purpose for creation. And the beauty of it all is that a truly conscious African knows who he is. If you knowing who you are, also help our young people to avoid committing suicide or going to depression. Because they will come to understand that every phase of their life has a meaning and has a purpose. And knowing who you are helps you helps your defined direction. It helps to understand when you know who you are, you know the talent, your inherent talent you were born with. So to help you to discover your purpose and help you to know how to put that talent to use, not for your purpose, for yourself alone, but for your family, for your community, and for the world at large. Knowing who you are helps to do that. Knowing who you are gives you the knowledge and the understanding that you don't chase wealth, you don't chase power, you don't chase authority, because those things does not define who you are. They have no reason, they have no bearing on who you are. Knowing who you are helps you on the mission. It gives you the direction of self-discovery and gives you the foundation to live a meaningful life, and to give you the understanding that when you leave this place, before you leave, you must leave a legacy. Now, definitely, knowing who you are makes you to also know that definitely one day you will leave this plane of existence. And when you go, what should you be remembered by? It's who you are that you'll be remembered by. Oh, when he was here, this is who he is. When he was here, this is what he was able to do for the community. When he was here, this is the impact he made in the society. So our journey through our plane of existence begin with that fundamental question, knowing who we are. I think I'll stop here.
Yeah, thank you so much. Actually, you have just talked about something. Spoke about committing suicide, and we had a discussion with Mama Ledewe. Actually, it was a live discussion, live interaction on TikTok, and so many people come on board and they're like, I was about to commit suicide because I'm confused, blah, blah, blah. Exactly the same thing that you've written here. That until you answer this question, that who am I, sincerely and truthfully, life often will become a journey of confusion, imitation. What is exactly what you're saying right now? So many people are confused, like they don't know exactly what they're doing here on earth. It's like they landed here without knowledge about anything. I can understand. Okay, we are babies. You are born as babies, and it's your parents to educate you and get you through uh, studying to help you study this life in its rightful form. But unfortunately, the parents that we have, we are we are brainwashed. They are not telling us the right things. They are Christians. They are religious people. The only thing they know is Adam, where life started from. But our life goes beyond the story of the Bibles, which are only 6,000 years down the road. But to go ahead and proceed with what you written, you said that in the African spirituality, we are taught that a person is more than a physical body. We are spiritual beings, temporarily experiencing life in the physical world. Our body is merely the vessel through which our spirit expresses itself on its earthly plane. I'd like you to explain more and get us into the knowledge of understanding the experience of of our body being the vessel through which the spirit expresses itself on this earthly plane.
Okay, thank you very much. There was a time, some weeks ago, I wrote a post on this platform. I said, man is a spiritual being carrying a physical body. You see, often a lot of us have always believed that we are physical being carrying a spiritual body. Sorry, we are physical being inhabited by a spiritual power, a knowledge, or a spiritual being, we are physical being inhabited by a spiritual power. But until we turn it around, we cannot begin to understand who we are. We must come to that first agreement or understanding or knowledge that man is a spiritual being carrying a physical body. And let me give an illustration. If a person is alive and you come to the person's house and you knock, you say, oh, where is Capricorn? They say, oh, he has gone out. But if you hear that Capricorn is dead, oh, Capricorn died, Capricorn just receive a phone call and say Capricorn just died, and you rush to the house. When you enter the house, you will not ask where is Capricorn. You will ask where is his body, because you know that Capricorn is gone. The first question you ask is where is his body, because you know that Capricorn is gone. That is just the body that is there. So if we have this understanding, so it helps us to know that man is inherently a spiritual being. This our body is just a temporary vessel to help us live through this plane of existence, to achieve that which we have come here to achieve. So if we have come to this first understanding, it guides us and leads us to the deeper knowledge of who we truly are. So if we agree that we are actually a spiritual being inhabiting a physical body, that helps us to understand that then who am I? Where am I coming from? Where am I going from here? You see, the beauty of African spirituality is that it is very practical. If we open our eyes to see nature, because we are nature ourselves. We're not just part of nature, we are also nature. We complement nature. Nature complements us. So when you plant a tree, you are establishing yourself. So knowing
actually, we are the ingredients of nature. Some of the ingredients of nature.
Yes, we are part of the ingredients.
We are some of the ingredients of nature.
Exactly. Thank you. So if we come to this understanding, you will see ourselves as a tree or as a seed. So when we come into this physical plane of existence, we are a seed, and we continue to grow. So if you are a seed is coming from somewhere, from a tree or a mature tree that from a fruit, and you remove a seed from that fruit, you plant to a ground, and that seed comes up. That means we are coming from somewhere. It's an illustration that we are coming from somewhere. And when we live a part of us here as we continue our journey through the universe. Because the universe is expanding. That is how we are also growing and expanding, continuous. It's a constant motion. It's not static. The fact that we cannot see it doesn't mean that we are in constant motion. The earth is in constant motion. So it's when we come to this understanding that we are a spiritual being. If you don't agree with that first principle, if we cannot continue to grow in the knowledge of our spirituality, we will not continue to grow to know, to begin to ask and begin to seek. So if I'm a spiritual being carrying a physical body, then who am I? Why am I here? Where am I coming from? What is my life path? Where am I going from here? Is it that when I die, that's the end of me? The answer is no. Because if you are coming from somewhere, definitely you must be going somewhere.
Actually, brother, you're talking about something very important here. It has even driven me to the next sentence that I'm about to read. But before I read it, in my culture, the Buganda culture, the names that we carry have not been with us for the longest of time. But what we used to identify ourselves were the totems. And even up to date, when you meet someone, the first thing you ask them is, what is your totem? Before you even go ahead and ask the name. So to read that, the sentence that you wrote here, you say that to know who you are is to understand your true essence beyond your name, your tribe, your profession, your wealth, your social status, because these are identities given by society. They are not your deepest identity. Your true identity lies in your spirit, your divine origin, your ancestral lineage, your unique destiny, and the sacred purpose for which you came into this world. That is where your identity lies. Please go more in details with that.
You see, in trying to explain more on this sentence, before now, most of us have always believed that who we truly are is defined by our geographical location. Oh, I'm a Nigerian, and within Nigeria, oh, I'm from Ogun State, or I'm from the Southwest, I'm Yoruba. So my first instinct is to defend my Nigerianness, or defend my tribe, or defend my language. But who we truly are transcends that notion. It transcends your name, because our physical name is given to us at birth, not by our choice. Where we are born was not by our choice, but who you are is by choice that you are here. Is by design. It's not by accident. So you passing through that, your geographical location is just an expression of you must pass through you are going to a particular place, you must pass through a place. The fact that you are passing through that place doesn't mean that is where you are going. So defining or understanding who you truly are is to know where you are coming from and why you are here. So that is to say, as Africans, or in the consciousness that we are trying to create for ourselves, we should look beyond our geographical location. We should see ourselves as nature, like you said. We are an expression of nature. Wherever we find ourselves, we can always express who we truly are. Who we truly are, or who we are, is not. We should not be restricted by our geographical location or by our lineage. It's just a mode of transmission or a mode of transportation to understanding who we truly are. Or that's the location where who we are, the creator of the universe, wants us to express who we are in that particular location, to make an impact, or create an impact, or leave a legacy in that location where we have found ourselves. So we should not attach ourselves to our geographical location, or to only our lineage, or to only our culture, or to only our people, so-called people alone. That is to say, we should not be tribalistic.
I have a question.
Yes.
I have a question before you go further. So now we have seen, as I said earlier, that in my culture, the Baganda culture, just like 12 or something like 15 generations down the road, we were not recognized by our names. We were recognized by our totems. So meaning,
sorry, what
the totems supersede our names.
Okay.
Sorry?
You said the totem supersede your name.
Yes. The totems supersede our names, as according to our culture, the Baganda culture. You know what the totems means, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Totems are the clans, like
Yes.
your animal related, and the animal you're related to.
Yes.
So this also ties into what you're saying, that we are ingredients of the nature, meaning we are connected to the nature in so many ways. And you see that in cultures like ours, we go ahead and specify and say that everyone belongs to a certain totem. They are related to a certain animal. And when you go in details, you will see that we share the same trait behaviors with those animals. And give an example, like me, my clan, my totem is a proboscis monkey, cobbler's monkey, the one which is white and gray, white and black stripes, kind of, yeah. That is my totem. But when you observe this totem, it almost functions. It has some similar traits, just like me. Like the way it takes itself. If I look at it, I will understand myself. So what am I trying to say here? Is that ourselves, just like what you're saying, it draws back to knowing the creator. So my question is it that some cultures in they are something different from the nature exists. Some cultures have some habits which depart us from who I am, from I am.
But to a large extent, I want to say yes. And why will I say yes? Because you see, since the erosion of the identity, since I was discussing with some see, the Yoruba, we don't have religion. The average in an African Yoruba traditional setting, we don't have a religion. That was why it was easy for the whites, for Christianity and Islam to penetrate the Yoruba land, because we don't have religion. So when they came with the religion, it was fascinating to us because we don't have religion. And if you look at the typical African society, the typical African society does not have religion. What we have is way of life, established way of life that have survived thousands of years. So that's why it is easy for, or when the whites came with religion, it was easy for them to penetrate the African society and change us and give us a religion, because we don't have it. I didn't mean we have a religion. It would have been almost impossible for them to take our religion away from us. So that's why in African society, every tribe and culture has their way of life, but there's this similarity. Even on the surface, it might look different, but going deep down, you find this, even though they have never interacted, you find this similarity in their belief concept, in their thought process, in their thought concept.
That's music, the drums.
The drums. So many things, the drums. They believe in ancestors. It cuts across every African culture.
And the herbs.
And the herbs.
Yeah.
And let me not use the worship, the veneration of nature. And the belief in the creator of the universe, by whatever names they call it in different language, is this, if you define it, it's the same. There's no difference. If you go to Uganda and you come to the typical Nigerian village, you see that the concept of the creator is the same. Understanding of nature 100%. Is the same.
100%. It's only the language which is different.
Which differs. And the name they call it differs.
True. 100%.
So because we don't have religion, that's why it was easy for them to do away with our way of life and take what they have brought to us.
Yeah. So the connection we have with the Creator is supposed to be understandable. Like we should not just believe it, we should know it.
Yes, like I was also telling someone when I was discussing about African spirituality, I said, look, it is time we leave the realm of believing and move to the realm of knowing. I said, because with religion is belief. You believe, they say Jesus Christ is coming again, you believe. They say Jesus Christ is the Son of God, you believe. They say you are going to, you just believe, there is no foundation for it. It is not factual. I say, but in African spirituality, we live on the realm of knowledge. I know. It's the realm of I know. It's not of I believe. I say, okay, for example, I know that if I'm feeling feverish, I know the leaves I will mix together to treat me, and I'll be okay. I know, not that you don't say I don't say I believe,
but you know,
so
you have the knowledge.
Yes, the knowledge, because the word knows comes from the word complete word knowledge. I say, so a true African who understands the concept of African spirituality lives in the realm of knowledge, not of belief. Religion takes you to the realm of belief. Jesus Christ will come again, is belief. There is paradise, is belief.
Actually, we as Africans, I'm speaking on behalf of the elders.
Yes.
When you're interacting with them, and they get to understand that you are in this kind of a belief or doubting, or they will not even take you serious because they know that you are just passing time. But when it comes to knowledge, they will tell you, they will deal with you with factual proof and evidence. So if you talk to an elder, take an example, like my stomach is hurting, but I'm going to pray to God and everything will be fine. So the elder will look at you and be like, I don't think if he knows what he's saying.
Exactly. He doesn't know.
Until you approach the elder in the right way and tell him that, elder, tell me the right herbs that I'm supposed to take to fix my stomach. And then he will take you around that bush, then he will tell you, mix this and this and this, and you'll be fine. So we Africans have been dealing with the knowledge, just exactly what you're saying. But I don't want to us to go far in the discussion before we allow our members to interact. So I would like to take this opportunity and ask anyone out there, if you have a question, please come on board and ask. We are dealing with the I am, who you are, your identity, and so if you have a question, please come on board and ask. Just feel free.
Like, I want to ask a
Before we proceed.
question. Can you hear me?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Like, why is it that this, like, who I am is hidden from me? Why is it hidden from me? That I don't know from birth that this is who I'm supposed to be, this is who I am. Why is it hidden from me by the Creator?
Why is it hidden from you?
Yeah, that I have to come to this life before I realize, before I find out who I am, before we start asking the question, why is it that I was just created with knowledge that this is who I am?
Okay. Why is it that you are not created with the knowledge of the divine that resides inside you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Brother Capricorn, please go ahead and respond to that.
Interesting question.
Mm.
You see, it is not as if the knowledge of who you are is hidden from you at birth. We came to this world with the knowledge of who we are, but because of society, environment, it erodes away from us. Let me give a typical example. If you are born in the, let me use Yoruba traditional way of life now. If you are born in a family in which they are predominantly hunters, you grow up to have the knowledge of hunting skill. So would you say it's hidden away from you? No. If you are giving birth to in the family in which they are traditional or Batala devotees, you grow in that knowledge. Or they are drummers in that family, you grow in that family, in that knowledge, and you become an expert in that field.
Or
If you
even
grow,
Christians.
or even if you, for example, the same, if you are giving birth to your father as a Christian, you become a Christian. You defend Christianity with your life. Because if you are giving birth to it as a Muslim, you become a Muslim and defend Islam with your blood. So it's not as if it is hidden from you. It is the evolution of our society that we have deviated from our true essence. That's why we grow up confused. And that's why we are bringing ourselves back to our true essence. So what this community is all about is helping us to rediscover our true essence. Because in like they say in the Bible, in the beginning it was not so. In the beginning it was not so. We lost it. And we are trying to get ourselves back to it. So it's not as if the divine creator hid it away from us. It was the society we found ourselves growing up that had taken it away from us. Some of us find it effortlessly. And for some of us, we have to study and research and dig deep to come back to it.
And also to add on what, brother, you've just shared, the society shapes a lot your upbringing. I'll give an example. When you're coming in this realm, in this earth, it's your mother who gave birth to you. That is a fact. And your father was there if you are lucky, but definitely 100% your mother was there because she gave birth to you. So the day your mother landed you on earth, pushed you out of her womb, and you started crying, 1 year after, 2 years, she is nurturing you, she's taking care of you, she's doing everything possible. Let's give an example. She has been a Christian and she has taken you to the baptism and you're baptized and everything when you're young. So 3 years, you start to ask questions. Mama, who is God? Then she will tell you, as according to the book that she is reading, God is this kind of man, he has a son called Jesus Christ. So at the age of 4 or 5 or 6 years, you cannot question that much because your mother will simply say, take this. It's more like something that we get by force. It's more like a drug that we consume at an early age, and we have to kick it out at the stage of reasoning, because eventually when you grow up, the same things that you're asking your mother, your boy is going to ask you, Papa, why is it that Jesus is a white man and is a son of God and I am a black man? Does it exclude me from being part of God, of being part of the family of God? And then your father will simply tell you, no, the Israelites are the chosen people. Okay, if God chose them, then what about me? So that means that God is having favorites. Anyway, there are so many questions that we need to address in their reality form. But what do you lose when you tell your father or when you tell your son that you are my child and the DNA that lies in me is the same that lies in you? My traumas, my likes, my dislikes, everything that is encoded on my epigenetics is the same that is encoded in you. The same thing that, brother, you've been talking about, that if your family were hunters, if your family were doing this, it's the same thing. It's going to be encoded on your DNA. All you need is to tap into that memory and reactivate it. So the knowledge of the Creator was not hidden, but it lies inside you. All you need is to tap into that ancestral memory, and then you'll be able to understand your origins and who you are. I don't know if that makes sense, brother. Crypto.
Yeah, it make very good sense to me. I very good understanding.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
you're welcome. Is there anyone else who has a question? Just come on board. Feel free. We are learning, we are educating ourselves, we are liberating our minds. This is a platform where we are not
Okay.
afraid. We're not a religion. Ask anything. We'll be able to attend you. And yeah. Is there anyone else? Or we proceed with
Peace and light to everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
Okay, I'm good, good. Can I raise
Yeah.
can I raise up my question?
Go ahead, please.
Yes. Yeah, my question is about the totem or clan.
The totems.
Which clan
Okay.
do you have? Yes, totems. Like we are here. I'm talking from Namibia,
Uh-huh.
and uh, we are depend to the animals like
You're
snake,
related to animals now. Mm,
zebra, and whatever.
mm,
Those only
mm,
wild animals, more especially, or even dogs. And what kind of
mm.
totem do you have in your country?
In
Now I
my
want to
country?
know. Yeah, I want to know if they are matching to ours or how.
Ah, okay. You're from Namibia, right?
Mm,
All right. Let's do a small demonstration. Actually, this is going to be very useful. So,
mm,
Namibia,
mm.
what do you call an elephant in your language? Let me go first. An elephant.
Onjamba,
Let me go first.
onjamba,
Okay.
onjamba.
You call it Wajampa.
Mm.
All right. I think that is a slightly different. But how would you pronounce laugh in your language?
Ohole.
Ole.
Yes.
What about um seka? When someone says seka or kuseka, what comes in your mind?
Okusheka.
Yes.
Like uh, like you are gospel. Like you are. It's not gospel, but it's like what's the proper word? It's like I cannot find it
Anyway,
proper.
okay.
Yeah.
The demonstration. What I wanted to do is I wanted to show you that we have a lot
Mm,
in common, and the language that we share as the Bantu,
mm.
because Namibia, you are from the Bantu speaking people,
Yes.
just like me.
Mm,
So we have a lot
mm,
of languages, lot of words that we share in a language. But to go
mm,
aside from that,
mm,
we have totems in my culture. And
mm,
so far, my Buganda culture has
mm,
52 clans or totems, animal that we are
mhm,
related to. And this include the goats, the goats, the sheep, the zebra, the lions, the monkey. Like me, I belong to the monkey. So
mhm.
is it the same with you guys, or you've never got time to ask these things from the elders?
Yeah, actually, it is playing a big role here. We used to call each
Mm.
other on that clan,
By
but you
totems.
most mm,
You used to identify each other by totems, right?
yes.
Mm.
Mm.
But now that
But
knowledge is fading away.
we don't have monkey. We
Mm.
have only dog, zebra, and
Mm.
snake, and a cow, but or
Mm.
cattle, but never goat.
Mm.
Mm.
What
And we
what
have
about an
leopard,
elephant?
lion. Eh?
What about an elephant?
Elephant we do. Even me myself, I'm in a elephant clan.
Okay. So
Mm.
I'm speaking on behalf of my where I come from, the Baganda people.
Mm.
The Baganda people, we have 52 clans. I'm not
Mhm.
saying that the same system that applies in my culture is the same that applies everywhere else. But there are
Okay.
similarities that we share a lot in common, which are the totems. So
Oh.
Africans, we
Mm.
recognize ourselves basing on the totems.
Mhm.
And we have seen this in different cultures, just like your culture and my culture. But the
Mm.
fact that you have some totems that we don't have, you remember I told you we have 52. That means
Ye-
that there are other animals that we don't have in our culture as totems.
Definitely.
And that means
Yeah.
that there are other animals that you have in your culture that we don't have in our totems.
Mhm.
But that doesn't make us different people. In fact, but shows that we have a lot in common, which is identifying ourselves with nature or being related to nature. And again,
Okay.
there are other animals. There are some animals that we share, like the elephants, the zebras, the lions that you said. We have this also
Mm,
in our culture. Yes.
okay.
So, what is exactly your question?
Okay. It was just I want to know if we are matching in those
Oh,
clan.
okay. Okay, we're the same. Yeah, yeah. But
Yeah.
do you know the reason as to why our ancestors, not even our ancestors, do you know as to why it is like that we are related to animals?
Mm.
Do you know the science behind it?
I don't know. That was my
You don't
following
know.
question. That
That was
was
the
my
next
following
question.
question. Yes.
Okay. You said you belong to which people? Which totem?
To elephant.
You are the elephants.
Yes.
You have a husband?
No. Yeah. But we are
Okay.
like to my father's side, I'm
Mm,
elephant. To my mother's side, I am zebra.
you a zebra. Good.
Yeah.
So
Mm. It
your
is like
father's side is
to my
your
father's
father's side
side
is an elephant.
and to my
Fro-
mother's side, I'm zebra. And the children, those are born from men from my mother's side. We call them zebra.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
Okay. Exactly. So this is what I'm trying to bring out. That
That is
your
how you
father
are also.
being sorry,
That is how you are also.
100%. That it's where I'm coming. It's where I'm coming. So
Okay, okay,
you,
okay.
my case, my father is the monkey. My mother is
Mm.
an antelope. The
Oh,
grandmother of my father, the mother
mm,
of my father, who is my
mm,
grandmother,
mm.
she is from the lion.
Oh,
Definitely, the
from the
father of my father is a monkey as well. So
oh,
the mother of my mother
mm.
was was uh was this animal forgotten it. Okay, there is a certain animal. I think it's
Okay.
but we have a human being has 4 totems in total. Like you have 4 totems
Mm.
in total.
Yeah,
Where your
yes. In
father's
total.
totem, where
Mm,
your father's totem is what
mm.
represents you in your DNA as being the highest concentration.
Oh,
But now that simply means that you cannot marry a totem of your father, right?
we don't have a problem. We do.
You do.
Uh-huh.
So you said you're an elephant, right?
Yes.
So you're trying to say that you can marry with an elephant
Eh, as long as we are not from the same family.
as long as you're not from the same family.
Mm,
And is it culturally accepted?
yes, we don't have a problem with that. Even it's like even my mother,
Hmm.
she's elephant. Even me, I'm also elephant.
No,
You don't like?
I don't know if you're understanding. What I'm saying is,
Mm,
in my culture, now
mm,
since my father is a monkey, I cannot
mm.
marry anyone for as long as they fall in the same totem.
Ooh,
I cannot. And now
even
to
if
make
it
things
takes
to,
what
to make
region
things
or from.
worse, now to make things worse or even more interesting, I have 4 totems in me. I
Mm,
cannot marry any of those 4 totems with me.
ooh,
That is a sheep. Yeah, that is a sheep, a lion, an antelope, and a monkey. I cannot marry any of those 4 totems. You know why? I'll give you an example, a reason, a very strong reason.
mm,
What lies in those people lies
mm,
in me as well.
mm,
So if you're an elephant and you
mm,
marry an elephant, that
mm,
means one of you or both of you come
mm.
from an ancestral stroke, like the lineage that you follow is very
Mm,
close to each other. It's
mm,
like marrying a sister or a brother. Because when you go
mm,
down the line, you
mm,
in the family tree or in the tree, ancestral tree, those people
mm,
will meet each other very early. I don't know if
mm.
this makes sense.
Ah,
You don't know about this science. You
very
should do
interesting.
research about it. You should do research about it. Actually, now this is what we've been discussing, that our cultures also were
Mm,
misled and they got our brother was doing it very well. Our culture, what we know as culture nowadays, it is something different from what nature tells us. Because even when
yeah.
you go to science,
Mm,
people who share a lot in the blood
mm,
are not advised to marry each other. That's why when you're about to go to get married to someone, and the church tells you you go for a blood test, and once the test comes out that you are a carrier of certain diseases, and the person you're going to marry is also definitely also is also a carrier, you it is advised that you find another partner, because the child that you give birth now will be a disease, will have that disease that both of you have is having as carriers.
mm,
Yeah, I don't know if these things make sense to you. But in my culture, the Baganda, we cannot, as I told you, those four totems that lies in me,
mm,
I'm not supposed to marry any from those people. So where do I go? I go outside those four totems, so
mm,
that I cannot so that I cannot have children with complications. But otherwise, if I go ahead and insist, because I love this lady,
mm.
the chances of me giving birth to children with complicated diseases is high.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Does it make sense to you?
We don't consider that even.
Ah.
At the end,
You
everything
don't
is done.
consider it. All
Everything when
right.
it's done is time we're gonna ask, how do you what is your totem or what yeah, then we
Hmm.
tell each other for that moment. We don't even
So
consider
now
that.
let, let me ask a question. Why did you ask the totem at the first place if you can marry
No,
each other?
no, I just want to know because we are also when you we are also have those kind of totem, what we are also belongs in that things. I just want to confirm if it is all over Africa. That is what I
No,
wanted to know.
okay. Well, what I'm saying is, during the time of marriage, when you're going to marry someone, do you ask their totem, or you don't go into asking them?
We don't
You,
consider those things.
you just go ahead and marry.
Yeah, we just came to the parents in front of the parents, both sides. First,
Hmm.
the must go to the main side. Then they will
Hmm.
questions like, who is your parents? Where you come from? What are you doing? Just
And
those kind
now
of questions.
once they find out that both of you are of the same totem, they
They
have
will
no
not.
issue.
They will not consider that.
Oh,
They will just
this is
where
something.
you come from and who's your parents and what you are doing. That's all. Yes, from there, then you come, and then the lady comes again to the main side. Then the same
Hmm.
question again, repeat. That is all.
Ah, okay. You know, I'm trying to process something, but to be honest
And
with
and
you,
and maybe the main problem is here because we don't have any longer those traditional marriage. We don't have
hmm.
it any. We are just belong to this white wedding.
Oh, you don't do traditional weddings.
We don't do traditional wedding.
Ah,
Just
now you know that
wedding.
explains everything.
Oh,
That explains
yeah,
everything, my dear.
yeah.
To be honest, in my country, Buganda, and I think it applies anywhere else in Africa. There are two kinds of weddings. There is traditional, and then there's a cultural traditional, and then there's a white wedding. And you find that people do both of these things. And the main purpose of the traditional wedding is to identify where each and every family belongs. So when you say that you don't do traditional wedding, now I can understand it, because in my culture, when we are doing a traditional wedding, people from your father's side, definitely 100%, they are of a different totem. And people from your mother's side, they are also a different totem. They sit in different tents. They sit in different tents. And we have so many interactions there, so many sorry, I'm going to get back to you. Let me first ask Brother Capricorn to also speak about that, because I'm pretty sure it is something I think we should need to raise as an issue. Brother Capricorn, what do you have to talk about?
I'm enjoying this interaction between you and Martha on this issue, even though let me say in Yoruba land, we are not associated with animals, and I can understand why the East Africans are associated with animals, because you have very large expanse of land that you have different wild animals. That's why you see even today in East Africa, you have the safaris, you have this, you have that. So it is easy for the people there to identify themselves with a particular kind of animal. But in Yoruba culture, we identify by whether you are an Ifa devotee, your family. In my mother's side, they are basically hunters. So our first name will be Ode. Ode in Yoruba means a hunter. So if I'm Femi, I'll be Ode Femi. If I am Shegun, I'll be Ode Shegun. So by that name alone, you know where this person is coming from. You know that this person is from this particular lineage, because that lineage, they are basically hunters. So if you are from a family of Ifa devotees, you'll be hearing the name like Ifa Femi instead of Ode Femi now. You hear Ifa Femi. So my name has identified me by where I am from. And like she said, that because they don't do traditional marriage again, because of they have become westernized. That's why she doesn't know, or she did not know, of those things that prevail in her culture. The same thing is happening all over Africa today, because even with the so-called traditional marriage, is not traditional in the true sense of the word. We just do it on the surface. Oh, in our family, we collect cola nuts, we collect cola nuts, we collect palm wine, we collect this or that. But go into deep tradition to find out these people, can they actually marry each other? We have lost that in Africa, to be sincere with you. It's only a few places or in interior areas where they are not really westernized. But we in the cities, most of us have lost it. So that is what is actually happening. So I can understand with her, like you rightly said, that, oh, now you can understand, because they are in the city now, or they have become westernized, or they have become religious. And some people will tell you they don't even do religion, they don't do traditional wedding. What they just do is they go to church. It's church wedding they recognize. They don't recognize traditional wedding. But actually, in real African culture and African traditional wedding, a lot of questions are being asked. Even from when the woman will come with the man to the house, or when the man will take the girl to the parents, even before the two families sit together, they will have asked series of questions. They will tell you, that family, you cannot marry from that family. But it's not done again. And if you want to see, you understand. But if the father is not done again, a lot of things that are happening to us as Africans, that if you trace it back, you discover that, it's because of marriage from this family to that family that has caused this challenge. So that's the little I would say about this.
Yeah, I was aware that in the Western Africa, you are not associated with the animals, and you're mostly associated with the family lineage.
Yes, and the gods,
yes,
or the We call them
The,
Irumon, the Orishas that we are devoted to. Each family has the Orisha they are devoted to. Is it
true.
Ogun or Batala or
Yeah.
Ifa or stuff like that?
Yeah. And in the East Africa, as I've been telling you, we go into identifying animals that are related to us. And when you ask our elders as to why these things were set like this, one of the first reasons they tell you is we are preventing the spread of diseases. Because remember, if you're a carrier and you belong to a certain animal, because our ancestors knew that once you identify yourself as related to a certain animal, then your offsprings are also going to carry that along with them. So if they met somewhere in future, they will easily know it that we cannot marry with each other because definitely somewhere down the road we share the same. We have something similar. So Sister Mata, you
Yes.
there?
Yes, I'm here.
Um, I'll be honest with you. What you're sharing with me is different with us, but again,
Mm.
I'll advise you if it's possible. You still have traditional traditional healers that side. Okay. Do you have people who practice their culture in your country?
We do have, but not that much any longer now.
Hmm.
Yeah,
But do
because
you
the
know that Christianity
it's
took
occupied
over?
all our because Christianity's occupied all our culture, all our traditional.
You know, when you talk like that, I'm
Mm,
in Uganda and East
mm,
Africa and most southern parts of Africa, including South
mm,
Africa.
mm,
We are Christians.
mm,
Why do you think we call ourselves Christians?
mm.
According to you, why do you think we are Christians? Why do you think Namibians are Christians?
Because all of us we are just
Huh?
believing because all of the Namibian,
Okay.
most of them,
Hmm.
we are just believing Christianity with life.
Okay. Do you think it has been like that for the longest of time?
No, it has
Like, do
not
you
been
think,
like that.
according to you, when do you think it started? When do you think that kind of
I
belief
think
started?
200 years back now.
Sorry,
It is minus plus 200 years back.
200 years back. So it
Mm,
means there were people prior
mhm,
that period who used
mm,
to live life, right?
yes. Mm,
And they used to
mm,
they used to live their own life, right?
mm.
So, in your understanding,
Mm.
who do you think is right in this situation? Okay, then I asked you a question.
Mm.
How do you think you find yourself Christians?
Is my because of my parents. They
Because
are
of
the
your
one.
parents.
Mm,
And your parents also found themselves Christians because of their parents, right?
definitely yes.
Yeah, and because of their, it's like
Mm.
it has been like that
Yeah,
for the
that
past 200 years.
yeah.
I'll share something with you. My name
Mm,
is David, the Christian
mm,
name,
mm,
but that is not my name. It's a given name. It's even written in the passport, in even
mm,
all documents. That is a
mm,
given name, meaning
mm, mm.
this name was given to me by a
Mm.
person who came and invaded our land. He took over our land and
Yes.
decided to call me that name basing on his preferences. He did not like what I looked. And then he decided, I'll give you this name so that I can identify you. And he not only gave me that name, he not
Mm,
only named us, but he named everything around us. I'm pretty sure you have things like the Victoria Falls, right?
mm,
You have names that are being called these physical features, because so many physical features we have in my country, like the lake. We have do you know Lake Victoria,
Yes.
the one which is in East Africa?
Yes. Like the
But how
biggest
about it?
Africa even.
Uh-huh. How
Mm.
about if I tell you that that is not its real name? That is just a name that was given to it by the Queen of England. But the real name
Mhm.
of Lake Victoria is called Lake Nalubale.
Oh.
Yeah. What does it mean? It simply
Mm.
means that
Mm.
a person
Mm.
who granted himself as superior came to you, invaded your
Mm.
land, took over, and he called you names that suit his preferences. So you are
Mhm.
Christians not because that is what you are. You are
Mm.
Christians because that is what your master
Say.
dictated, wants you to be.
Mm.
Yeah. So I cannot be called David. David is just a given name, but I have my original name. And this name has nothing to do with the colonizer. So what the colonizer did is to give you a system where you are supposed to be
Mm.
identified, and so
Mm.
that it can be easy for him to control you.
You see?
Therefore, you cannot be a Christian, you cannot be an African and be a Christian at the same time. Otherwise, your full name will not have the given on it. It will have English names and whatever African names. But again, when you look at the rest of the other people around the world, the
Mm.
Indians, the Chinese, the
Mm.
Japanese, the Europeans
Mm.
themselves, they don't have
Mm.
identities of other nationalities. If you find an European, he's only having European names. You find a Dutch person, she's only having a Dutch names. You find a
Mm.
Japanese, only Germany names. You find a Chinese, only Chinese name. I don't know if this makes
Mhm.
sense to you. It's only an African who you find with David Kajimu, Sarah,
You see?
and an African name. It doesn't make sense.
Does not make sense.
Yeah. Now, when you go to the book, which contributed a lot to the misinformation and the false identity,
Mm.
which is the Bible, the, the Chinese rejected that book for a reason, because they knew that what lies in that book is not the truth, but the control of the King James of England, because all the
Mm.
rights of the Bible belong to the British.
Mhm.
So, meaning, if you're a Christian, you subscribe to what the British are telling you. You can't do anything which is outside of your master's concern. But the Chinese rejected it. Guess what? Just of recently, go on Google, you'll find these things. Just of recently, the Chinese published their own Bible. And guess what? They're going to distribute it to Africa. And now you're going to get another version of Jesus, who is in Chinese. It's just because they realize that Africans are like they're just playing around with them anyhow. You can do whatever you want with Africans for as long as so
Oh.
you can be a Christian and be an African at the same time. No, you can only be colonized to be, because a sheep cannot be called a goat. It's a
Mm.
goat. It's not called a sheep.
Mm.
But such platforms like this one, we are liberating ourselves, we're educating ourselves, and we're getting back to the basics. Brother Capricorn, do you have something to add on? Or is
Yes,
there
let me
anyone
just
else
add.
who would?
Let me sorry. Let me just permit me to a minute or two to just add on to what you have rightly said. You see, when the whites came to Africa, they
Mm.
discovered that we have a complete way of life,
Mm.
a complete system that has worked for us for thousands and thousands of years. And
Mm.
the only way for them to distort our ways of life is to change our identity. And the first thing you can change in a person's identity is his name. The moment you are given a different name aside from your real name, your identity has been changed. It is now easy to control you. Because
Yes.
if I ask you what is the meaning of Martha, you don't know. Or if you have your tribal name and I ask if what is the meaning, you will tell me, oh, it means this. And it's rooted in your culture and lineage. Because Africans don't just give names, they give name with meaning. But when they came, they gave us name that has no meaning. So you have lost your identity. Because your name is you. And you are your given name. So when they give you the name David, David has no bearing to you. It has no meaning to you. It's from an alien and a foreign culture that they are brought and given to you. So you begin to think in that direction. You begin to think like a Jew, like a Christian. That's why when they baptize you, they say when they are indoctrinated, you say now they want to baptize you, and I say no, your name can no longer be Femi that you are born with that has the meaning. They not give you a strange name. So begin to think in that direction. All is a means of mind control. All
Sister,
is a means to mind
there is
control.
something that I want to demonstrate with you.
Okay.
What do you call the creator in your language?
Kalunga. Kanangobe.
Kalunga.
Kanangobe. Kanangobe, yes. Kalunga, Kanangobe. Yes.
Okay. Kalunga Kanangobe. In my
Yes.
language, I call Kalunga Kanangobe Katonda. The Nigerians, somewhere in Nigeria, they call Katonda Igwe. Now, imagine this.
In Yoruba is Olodumare, the creator of the heaven.
Now, imagine this situation. Imagine this situation. I bring Katonda in your culture, and I tell you, don't worship Kalunga, but I want you to recognize Katonda. Will you accept it? Will you accept the name that I bring in your culture?
No.
You will not accept because you have a special interaction with the creator or the divine.
Yes.
The same situation. You cannot bring that creator in my culture. But how about if I tell you that Jesus, Yahweh, Abraham, and all those names were forced on you? Did you accept it?
Oh, by force, I did, but because of they are forced me.
So you see that Christianity did not come in a good heart. It was by force.
Yes.
Otherwise, if
they
we
have
had come in a good heart,
they have polluted my mind with that from the beginning. That's why I have no power to reject it.
Exactly. So you cannot recognize the creator as according to your own lineage or your own understanding of the divinity in your language, but they bring another name and they give, and not to make things funny, to make things worse. Tell me, according to your creator, according to the understanding, the knowledge that you have with your creator, does he give back to humans? Just think about it.
Yes.
Does he give back to humans?
No.
No. But how about if I tell you that the God of the Bible has his son? He gave back to his son, yeah. And you have to accept it.
You have to believe it.
Yes, they have to believe.
You have to accept
Yesterday,
it. So that is the situation we are in.
Yesterday I was with my niece and she questioned me like, if the Bible tells people to forgive each other 7 times, 70 times or whatever. Now, why the people did not forgive those people killed Jesus and they forgot that death of Jesus, instead to worship the death of Jesus every year, every time we are talking about that? Why can't we just forgive and we forget?
Now, you see, you're only on that, but I'll tell you some other thing that is very interesting, and it is very basic. If God is everywhere, the God of the Bible is everywhere, That means he must be in hell as well, right?
Mm.
So if he's in hell and he's in control of everything, so he's controlling the devil and the hell as well. It's just logic. Because if you say that he's almighty everywhere, he's all knowing and everything, why doesn't he get rid of the devil if he can? It's a plan. I'll just simply tell you that you're playing mind games with me. But anyway,
Those
now
people are
people like
just
us
playing
who,
with boy.
yeah, it's a mind game, just like our brother said earlier.
This
But
definitely is.
I don't want us to keep the conversation between only ourselves. Is there anyone else who would like to chip in and just say something? It's
All
a
right.
platform where we are. But thank you so much for sharing, interacting, sister.
All right. Thank you too.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. We are here to liberate our minds and just just talk about anything. If you have, is there
Hello,
anyone else who has a
can you
question,
hear
or we
me?
proceed? Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, I already see the presence. I'm from Uganda,
Yeah.
in East Africa,
Mm,
the most part of Africa. I think life begins from here, and
mm,
I'm convinced that everything what runs the world is somewhere starting around Uganda. But you are talking about something that has always puzzled me.
mm,
Uh, I am beginning to discover myself, my roots, but
mm,
as I started to transition, this
mm,
is the question that triggered my search for who I am.
mm,
The Bible brought to Africa um,
mm,
states clearly, I mean, according to the teachings, that we inherit the sin of the first man, Adam.
mm,
And but if you follow each story, along the way comes Abraham, who is fully
mm,
blessed and is
mm,
thriving, and the others. But now, as
mm.
Africans, we are taught to inherit the sin of Abraham, but never the blessing. I mean, to inherit the sin of Adam, but never the blessing of
The
Abraham.
blessing.
How?
Mm.
How come
How is it
our sin
possible?
only
Mm,
brings the bad and not the good thing according to the God of
mm,
of the Jews? That is the
mm,
question that triggered me to start discovering really who I
mm,
am and my roots. That's
mm.
what I wanted to contribute to that the discussion you're having.
Wow, thank you, brother. Thank you so much. Actually, when you look at the Bible, it has a lot of stories which don't make meaning. Uh, that is a perfect example. How comes that God selected Abraham? Was he special? Was he not with sin? Was the sin of Adam not affecting him? That's a big question. Another question that you maybe you can that you should ask believers once you interact with them is the story of Noah and the flood. That story itself is a drama because you will see that this gentleman gave birth to three different kinds of races of people at a go. He gave birth to an African, he gave birth to a white, to an European, and he gave birth to an Indian. The Chinese and the whatever are not even included. But they gave birth to those three kind of races. Is it possible? Unless you tell me that he was a black man and he gave birth to these three people from different women. But I'll tell you that he had these kids from the same woman. Does it make sense? It cannot. It cannot. But let's proceed with our teachings, brother Capricorn. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, let's proceed with the teachings. So we've seen that knowing who you are means understanding your spiritual nature, your connection to the creator, your relationship with ancestors and the forces of nature, your unique gifts and talents, the lessons your soul came here to learn. Actually, brother, before you proceed, I just want to ask you these three things. just for the sake of our members, what is the difference between a soul, a spirit, and a soul, a spirit, and a human being? What are the differences and where are the similarities, and how do each work hand in hand with each other, with another?
This is a question that a lot of people have always asked in different religion or different belief systems. What is the relationship between the body, the soul, and the spirit? I think the body basically is the physical one we see. So that one is easily explainable. Now, the soul is the experience or the means with which we relate directly with the body in this when we are on this plane of existence. So the soul can, should I say the soul can die? But you see, the spirit is our core essence. Our soul is our soul is, it has a relation to do with the experiences, with the things we experience while we are on this plane. Or the spirit is coming from somewhere. It is here and it's going somewhere, so it never dies. But the spirit, the body dies, the soul perishes, but the spirits never die. It's continuously expanding with the universe. It's on a motion, it's on a journey. But the soul has limited ability compared to the spirit. So I can also simply easily tell you that the soul is the middleman between the spirit and the body.
Is there anyone who has questions regarding that? Just come up and ask. Martha, are you okay with it? You know, I don't want us to proceed to the next stages before we understand these basics, fundamental things. Is everyone in Omni?
The house is quiet tonight. Hope all is well.
Okay. Let's
The house
continue.
is
Seems like,
unusually quiet tonight.
yeah, I think
Among
they're
me,
okay with it.
Adeshino,
Oh,
Diamond Beauty.
Everywhere is good.
okay.
I'm following up.
Like, is it that all of us that like all human beings come from different place or come from the same place? Like, are we created for like one God creatures? Like we came from like we came from the same place or like we came from different places?
Okay, thank you so much. Brother Adeshina, you wanted to ask something?
No, I only respond to who called my name. That's why.
Okay. So, Brother Capricorn, our gentleman is asking a question that is it true that we all came from the same source and then departed in different directions, or we all came from different sources and met somewhere along the way?
Thank you. You see, the creator in his infinite wisdom. Let me first dispel a fallacy. The Bible makes us to understand or believe before now that we are all created from Adam. But it is now known it is not possible for man to have come from a single source. Archaeological expedition has shown, research has shown from fossils that have been discovered in different parts of the world that it's not possible for us to come from Adam. And instead of the Bible telling us the story of Adam, it's up to 5,000 years old. Even in Ile-Ife, they have discovered fossils that is over 100,000 years old. That is preceding Adam's, the story of Adam. I think I want to, if I'm not wrong, it has been discovered that life form started in Africa. I think around Namibia or so. That's where life form started from. And man began to expand towards different directions as the earth was expanding towards Europe, some of us were in Africa, and different parts of the world. No one can simply say we are the origin of life. This is how man became to the surface of the earth, or how we begin to grow and to expand. I think research has shown us how it had happened. But how did we start? Definitely not from the Big Bang theory, like the scientists want to make us understand. Certainly not from Darwin theory of creation. Certainly not. But one thing that is sure is that life existed on Earth, and there is a supreme power or the supreme knowledge that oversees the affairs of this Earth, or that created this Earth. I will refer back to my father again. My father would tell me that life is a system, it consists of systems and order. So there's a supreme knowledge and supreme power, supreme being behind it all. And we call him names according to our culture or according to our language. So with that at the background, the question he asked, that did we come from the same source? The answer is yes. We all came from the same source. But through migration, we spread on the face of the earth. And through the earth expanding, or the land expanding, water cutting. I think research has shown that Europe and Africa were joined together before. And through knowledge also, in those days before the present age, we were using boats and the
Oh, seems like our brother is having
boats and
issues.
canoes to travel for far and wide, different. Yes, it's a called canoe to cut off. So with the advent of the ancient technology, the design of the canoes that can go very far and wide, man began to travel far and wide to inhabit other parts of the world. So the answer is yes, we all came from the same source. Because even though our color is different, our hair on the head of our head is different, our skin, it differs. It is their geographical location that evolved into having different colors of hair, different eyes, and different shapes. But inside of us, biologically, we are basically the same.
To speak briefly about that, this is my understanding, basing on the etymology and the cosmology that lies in my culture. Well, now this is where culture is important, because once the education or the information we accept as center of our life is given to us foreigners by people who come from somewhere, then it shows that you are losing yourself, you're losing you're losing everything. So where did it come from? I must respond to that according to my culture. So culture is because everything lies in your language. You cannot know where it came from until you get from those who have been there for the longest of time in your genealogy. So that will be answered by the elders of the people who lies in your culture. They have this information downloaded to them, and it has passed on by the book, by the writings be manipulated. Books can be manipulated. Just like an example, when the white men got to understand that you Africans know God, so what he did, he wrote his own story of Adam and everything in his own favor, which is okay, because that is what he wanted, and that was his agenda to control. But the question is, what is your story as according to your culture and your language? So that question can be answered very well from your elders who speak the same language like you do. I will tell you my story. I'll give an example. In my culture, we have a story of the first man, and we called him Chintu. We call him Chintu. And there are so many stories there, including Walumbe, and Walumbe, who was his brother and everything, and then his brother turned to be so many things. But what I'm saying is, Africa has preserved its own story in all the and the archives of those stories are seated on our elders. What the task that you have is to go ask these things, get information from those people who speak the same language like you do, because they will tell you things that are almost similar and parallel to the rest of the other cultures and nations. If you go deep into understanding that knowledge, finding out answers regarding that question. So I don't know if that, brother Crypto, satisfy you. Does it satisfy your answer? Your question, sorry. Hello? Brother Crypto, does the response satisfy you? Okay, let's proceed. Because we are trying to get back to our roots. We are trying to get back to who we are. And the honest truth is, you cannot know who you are if you debunk your culture, if you don't embrace and consider your culture, because culture has all the knowledge that we're looking for. And this knowledge is sitting on is being stored on the archives of our elders. So it's you need to take. Brother Capricorn, should you continue with our teachings?
Okay.
Yeah. So feel free, anyone out there, feel free to ask questions, because we don't want to leave anyone behind. We want to be on the same page.
I have hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Thank you so much. Now, in
Unplug your
answering
headset.
Brother Crypto, in trying to respond to Crypto's question, there is something I think on knowledge sharing that the elders have been, overpowered in answering. I think sometime back, like 4 years back, I asked one of my elders about our ancestral lineage, and you ask somebody a question and they look surprised. They start, avoiding this question here and there, and I feel somehow because of Christianity we have lost the source of knowledge, especially about our origins, about our Africanity. And I am now on a journey of looking elsewhere, not just consulting my elders, because they seem like they do not want to talk about what happened in the past. And maybe also because of religion, because they are now in Christianity, they think discussing such stories is going away from the story of religion. So some of us have now a challenge of gathering this information, even from people coming from a far distance than our own elders who do not want to speak about that. So I think it has been a challenge to me from the part of where I come from, that the elders do not want to share anything about our past.
Thank you so much, brother. Actually, what you're saying is evident. We can see it. The elders I'm really meaning are not not everyone who's old or who has gray hair qualifies to be an elder. These people, most of our people lost their identity, and in the process, they want to drag their ignorance along with you. I'll give an example. When you ask so many elders about these things, I'll be honest, not only elders, even our friends, you just simply talk to your friend and tell him that, brother, I would like to discuss some very important things, like let's just discuss God. What is your understanding of God? These guys, people will be like, no, we don't want to talk about those things, blah, 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 blah. It's because we are programmed, Africans are programmed in a way where we're not supposed to question anything. You just have to believe. And now, when the elders tell you, don't ask, you should believe. But the reality is, in the African tradition, back in the days, our elders never, they encouraged questions. They encouraged us to ask, because out of the asking, then you get to know, you get to get the knowledge. So, Brother Capricorn, do you have something to add on that?
Yes, you are actually correct that the fact that the person has gray hair does not qualify him to be an elder. And like the brother actually said, it's becoming increasingly difficult for a lot of people who wants to go back to their root to know their history. A lot of people call private chat me and said there's nobody they can ask in their. They don't. A lot of people don't even know their village. They don't even know where they come from again because their parents have become urbanized. So they will tell you they have never been to their local community before in their entire life. So where do they start from? Where do they start from? I said, look, if you cannot trace your personal family lineage, at least you know the town that your parents told that they come from. You can go and do research there. Even if you cannot know your own personal family history there, you know the history of your little community. It has a reflection of your own lineage. So getting to know, coming back to Africanness has been a challenge to a lot of young people who are trying to understand who they are and where they come from, so that they can use that as a springboard or as a base to begin to develop themselves and ask questions and grow in the knowledge. But I also encourage them that the fact that you cannot trace your lineage or trace your direct family has not stopped you from discovering who you are as an African. Because who we are as an African goes beyond even where we come from. It's just our starting point. It's just where we spring up from that we can begin to develop ourselves. We can develop ourselves even from our larger community. For example, if I'm a Yoruba man and I know definitely, okay, I'm from so state, I'm from so town, but I don't know my village in that town. You can use that town as your basis and get the history, the knowledge, understanding of the culture and the way of life, and use as a springboard to move to the high level of discovering who you are and begin to grow to develop your Africanness on that point.
Yeah, thank you so much, brother. Thank you so much, brother. I don't know if that satisfies you, brother Mwena. The challenge that you're facing is all over Africa. The people that we have as elders do not have the right information. They were misled. So the task is up to you to gather and to find this information anywhere else. I'll give you an example. I'm from Buganda, but most of the information I've acquired was not being taught to me by the elders. No, I did my own research. And if you do research and how can I tell that something is true? It's out of evidence. You base on the evidence. And if you can't find the evidence, then you need to go to the sense of the reality. Like, I cannot find the evidence that tells me that a woman gave birth to a first human being. But the reality tells me that it's a woman who gives birth to all human beings. So according to me, I will not tell my child that Adam, a man, gave birth to a woman. No, I will not tell her that. I'll tell my child that it is your mother who gave birth to you. So if she asks, who gave birth to my mother? Then I'll go ahead and tell her, my grandmother, who gave birth to me, who gave birth, like it's a lineage. So what we need to mostly focus on as Africans is to understand our people, or our lineage, or where you come from. Because to understand where you come from is to understand who you are. But again, if our elders will not provide information, okay, the so-called old people who we have in the now, if they can't provide information, we are not going to be like, okay, we can't find anything, therefore it's it's the end of us. No, information is there. You can still find it anywhere for as long as it makes sense. Brother, I don't know if that makes sense to you, Brother Mwene. Brother Mwene, are you there? Okay, we have few minutes to close in this session, but before we do, I'd like to just welcome anyone with a question. Just come up and speak and ask anything before we close in. We are a family, we are a group, we are a community, and we are here to liberate our minds, mostly to liberate our minds from the mental slavery, because mental slavery is a very terrible disease. If we don't address it and if we don't face it, we will pass this kind of information, which has nothing to do with reality, into the next generation, and we will look stupid in front of our children's eyes when they ask us, when they say that, how did you let this pass your generation? Because trust me, the children that are going to come in the future will not be the same like us. If Africa is going this direction where things are not progressing, but the impact of religion is doing a very bad, is doing a very a negative impact. In my understanding, the future is not bright. We have to do something. If we want to be like the Chinese, if we want to be like the Europeans, if we want to be like the those people in the rest of the other worlds, like the Mongolians or whatever, anywhere around the world, we need to get back to our basics and embrace our culture and embrace who we are. Otherwise, if we don't do that and we accept things that we have imposed on us, then Africa has no future. But is there anyone else who has anything to ask? Just contribute. Ifia. Our sister
Okay,
Ifia.
let me sorry, let me just make a
Go
little
ahead.
conclusion before we close.
Yeah.
I want all of us to understand one basic truth. If we don't go back to our roots, we can never grow as an individual, as a community, and as Africa. The Chinese are able to develop because when they embrace their identity. The Indians develop because they embrace their identity. Africa will continue to be looked to find its way and be in darkness and confusion until the day we come to that realization that we must embrace our identity. If we fail to do that, definitely our children will rise up and do it. So it will be a good thing for us to, as we have started, to continue on this journey of finding our roots. Africa has become like a tree without a root. Every breeze or every storm that comes, throw it around. But the moment we are able to find our root and embrace our root, accept who we are, that will be the day we begin to grow as
The
Africans.
Chinese,
And
the Chinese are manufacturing a Bible and they are planning to bring it to Africa. So that is the next phase.
So please, I want to enjoin us as individuals. We must give ourselves to study. We should not just live this life as if we are here now, tomorrow will be no more. We should give ourselves to study and find out who we are and ask ourselves, how do we grow? What should be my contribution? What should be my legacy? What should I leave behind when I leave this plane of existence? And how will it have been written that I contributed to the growth of Africa? Change begins with us. We should not look at the next person as the person that will drive the change. We as individuals should drive that change, or should be part of those that will drive the change. Thank you.
Thank you so much, brother. That was profound. We are about to close this session, unless anyone has something to say. But it has been a wonderful session. We have educated our minds and we've liberated ourselves from the mental slavery. I don't know. Is there anyone else who wants to say something before we close? Okay. Until we meet next time, guys, have a wonderful time. May the ancestors be with you. Ashe.
Share.
Sure.
Ashe, have a good one, everybody.